The Rush, sponsored by State Farm.
Welcome to another episode of The Rush. As always, I'm Danny Fry. This week's edition, we have basketball highlights of the regional title game in Jacksonville, as well as last night's sectional semifinal against Lincoln and Mount Zion. Also, we have a track profile and a feature story on emerging sports here at Glenwood. But right now, let's get the show started. We bring in assistant basketball coach Moomie. Here's a guest anchor to break down these highlights for the Titans playoff run. Now, coach, first you guys had an upset 60-58 win over Southeast, and then you guys had to get ready for SHG in the regional final last Friday in Jacksonville.
Right. Two similar games with Lanphier and Southeast. They have similar styles, and Griffin a completely different style. Even though they all play mainly man-to-man defense, Griffin's defense is a lot different kind. They pack it in, and that was something that we had to deal with in that game.
Let's take a look how the Titans dealt with the Cyclone defense here in the Jacksonville Regional Final. Craig Fuchs moved on in the three-point shootout, and right off the bat, your defensive intensity was up. Malik Turner inside, or David Jacob inside, and Daniel Helm with the swat, coach.
Yeah, did a nice job there. We had some trouble. I think that was a ball screen there, and we had a little bit of trouble with their ball screens and their big guys rolling to the basket, but we were able to make some adjustments later on.
Titan fans into it after Peyton Allen drilled a three from the right corner. He's really been consistent. But talk about this move from Malik Turner to close out the first.
Yeah, he's a real good player. I think an underrated player. He's fast, he's strong. He always gives us matchup problems.
And here inside, here's another steal for Turner. Turner would lead the game though as he scores. Gabe Green was able to score inside as well. But Malik Turner would leave the game with an ankle injury that has been nagging him with 6 points, and then that really helped you guys towards the stretch.
Yeah, he's the guy that makes them go, and when they lost him, that was a big part of their offense, and they really had trouble scoring from that point on.
Game was tied at 20. Tyler Brown came right out of the gate with a three to make it 23-20, but Travis Vogel was able to dial up a lot of threes. That tied it up at 23.
Yeah, I think Tyler's shots kind of got overlooked a little bit by some things that happened later on, but part of Griffin's strategy was to stay off of him, and he had a couple of really big shots that kind of opened the floor up for some of our other players to get going.
For Peyton Allen right here, a nice 6-point swing, back-to-back threes, and the Titans were in business at that point, 31-23 in the third. And Vogel tried to keep him in it though, make it a 5-point game from the left wing, but guys were able to really pound the ball inside with Helm and able to grind out the victory.
We made some offensive adjustments in the second half to kind of take their help away a little bit and give some room for Craig and Daniel down low, and that really paid off.
Titans win by 10, 53-43. Fuchs with 8, Allen with 16. Here's some post-game sound.
Oh, well, we didn't feel like we were the 4th seed when we came in. We felt like we came back full strength, and we felt like what we had been deserving all year is the 1 seed. So we came out, we played like it.
SHG's an awful tough competitor, and they were physical, they were tough. It's unfortunate that Turner went out, but he's a great player, and Blake does a nice job with them. So hats off to them, but at the same time, our kids deserve this.
It feels really good. You know, we won it last year. We had a great group of guys. This year coming in, we had a great group of guys. We knew we could go as far as this, even farther, but we had a couple injuries, but we're getting it together in the postseason.
After winning back-to-back regionals, you guys won the Triad Regional last year. You guys were supposed to play Wednesday in Mount Zion against Lincoln, trying to be one of the last CS8 teams alive, but then the game got moved to Thursday. Did that really throw you guys off at all?
No, not last night. It just gave us an extra day to prepare for Lincoln. It's a little tight getting ready for Centennial now as we speak here on Friday afternoon. Yeah. We probably would have liked to have had another day to get ready for that, but that's the way it is. We dealt with that with Lanphier and Southeast back-to-back, so at least we've been through that.
Now, Lincoln always able, they play the tough zone defense, and they're really able to move the ball so quickly. What were you guys trying to do to stop that last night?
Well, you usually don't have to play teams that have 5 shooters that are capable of shooting threes, and Lincoln certainly can do that. So that's what makes it, as you mentioned, it makes it very difficult because they move the ball so quick, and couple of their guys can go to the basket, but the big problem is just having to get out on shooters, and they shot the ball very well last night, and it really took a lot out of us to have to guard that.
Let's take a look at the highlights here from last night when the Titans battled the Railers over in Mount Zion. Miles McAdams didn't want that to be his last game. Where Craig Fuchs here, season on the line. And Lincoln, like you said, hitting ridiculous threes. There's Tyler Horsham.
Right, and that's something they do very well, and we tried to change our philosophy a little bit to deal with some of their handoffs and their ball screens, but when they shoot them from that far out, you just can't guard that.
Low scoring first quarter, 9-7 Lincoln at the end of one. Payton got the shooter's roll there. Titans went a 13-0 run after they were down 9-2. Miles McAdams helped out with that.
Yeah, Miles was big last night. We knew they would draw a lot of their attention to our guys inside and Payton, and he had to hit some shots, and he really came through, not only with the points he had, but the timing. A couple of the shots came when we were in really tough positions. So
Lincoln came back strong with Max Cook drilling a lot of key jumpers, and here he hands it off to, or pass over there to Edward Bowlby, and he lays it in. Bowlby had silently had a nice game, and here again Cook pulled up 3 from the right wing, and nothing really going to do about that. Titans were down 5 entering the fourth.
Yeah, those guys can play, and the worst news is they're all back next year except Pod Belfic, I think. So they have some good players coming back, and they're very difficult.
6 minutes to play in the fourth. Titans down 8, not looking good. 34-26 after a Bowlby 3. Cole Harper, I believe it's one of his first threes of the year from the top of the key, made it a 5-point game.
Right, we needed somebody to step up and hit a 3, and we were struggling scoring at that point, and that was huge. And what you just saw from Daniel Helm there, I think that got us to within 1 point.
36-35 at that point. And then here, quick foul on Joey Olin, and then 38-35, Payton Allen with a 3 ties the ball game up at 38. Gavin Block's shot would be good, but not off in time. Game went into overtime at 38. Here comes Gavin Block with a layup that's no good. And here, bad miss by Horsham. All by his lonesome is Miles McAdams. Payton able to get the down court pass to him. Titans up 42-40 at that point. Grant Lee getting the crowd all fired up and now set the stage. 42-42. Payton Allen fadeaway jumper, no good. Cole Harper goes after with Pobelsic. No foul call. That was controversial. And then off the inbound right there into Payton Allen, able to knock down the shot from Miles McAdams, and just absolute mayhem after the game. The Titans upset Lincoln, the number 7th ranked team in the state, 44-42, advanced to the sectional final. Allen had 13, so did McAdams, but here is the man of the hour, Payton Allen, after the game.
Coach Blakeman drew up a great play out of bounds, so Craig set the down screen for me, and Miles threw a great pass like he does, and I just finished it. We had a lot of momentum, we had coming into that overtime, so we just pulled it out defensively and made some big plays, and that was the key to it.
Payton was able to send the game into overtime at 38, and then from there on out, just was clutch all the way out. And just describe how Allen really helped you guys there in the end.
Well, that obviously hitting the 3 to get us into overtime was huge. A little bit of a tough situation because we were not in the bonus. I think they only had 4 team fouls when we got the ball back. So they fouled us once. We kind of anticipated they might do it again, but he was able to get the shot off before they did, and that was a good thing for us that it happened. We actually ran the same play that we tried to run up in Lincoln earlier in the season when we were tied, but it came off a little better this time.
Now with 1 second to go in the huddle, was Coach saying, hey, Payton, we're going to give you the ball here in the lob pass?
Yeah, I didn't hear everything that was said, but I heard enough to know that that's where it was going. So.
And that was able to work out. And talk about the play before that, though, how the Titans were able to get the ball with a second left. Cole Harper went for it after Payton missed a fadeaway jumper, and Will Podbelsic went for it, landed out of bounds. Now, Coach Alexander of Lincoln wanted a push there, wanted a foul call, and didn't get it.
Yeah. Obviously, that's a crucial situation. I think officials tend in those situations to try to let the players decide the game. I've looked at that's the I think 3rd different angle I've looked at the play now, and I can't really tell. It looks to me like there's a 6'4" kid going for the ball and a 5'8" kid going for the ball, and there was a little contact, and as usually happens, the 6'4" kid was standing and the 5'8" kid was landing on the floor. There were several situations like that during the game where I can't remember one foul that was called on a rebound, and there was a lot of contact. Lincoln shot 9 free throws in the game. We shot 3. So obviously they called that play like they'd called a lot of the rest of the game. They let the players decide the game. And obviously, if you're from Glenwood, you love the way that call went. If you're from Lincoln, not so much.
Not so much. With Coach Alexander trying not too happy after that. Everybody wanted a foul there on Cole. Not happened. And then just a great play called by Coach Blakeman to get Allen able to make that shot and win it. So now time to move on to the sectional final. First time since 1989. Last time that the Titans won a sectional was back when you played a senior in the 1975 Glenwood Redskins who went to state in the Elite Eight. Who'd you guys beat in that sectional game?
I think it was Piasaw Southwestern. That game was played at Carlinville. Of course, that's back when we were a 1A school. We were
one of the last years before you guys made the
I think
jump.
there was one more year after that. We were about 640 students in the school at that time, and we went up about another 100 the next year, and then more than that the following year, and that's when they went AA, and we've been in there until they changed to 4 classes.
A lot of people said it's been one of the best Glenwood basketball games they've seen played, and now, but you guys got to look forward for Centennial now, and they got a Division I 6'9" forward center, whatever you want to call him, and Michael Finke. And Finke, this is courtesy of channel1450.com. Finke's just a study and do it from just about everywhere. How are you guys trying to stop him?
Well, I mean, even though he's big and obviously he can score around the basket, I think he kind of prefers to be out on the perimeter and shoot threes. That's one thing we got to find him. Shouldn't be too hard to do since he's 6'9", but he can kind of get his shot off anytime he wants. But I think we have some, 2 maybe 3 guys that match up pretty well with him, and that's what we're going to have to do.
Yeah, and he'll be playing for Illinois in a couple years. He's just a junior, so somebody to look out for. But Taylorville actually played them tough as well. So should be a great game for the sectional final tonight at 7:30. Thanks, Coach, for coming on and some more in-depth analysis. Tonight, the Titans battle the Centennial Chargers for the Class 3A Sectional Championship in Mount Zion. The game tips off at 7:30. Glenwood senior Kwamir McNair is a jack of all trades playing the physical sports of hockey and lacrosse. But don't forget about the speed McNair will bring in the upcoming track season. The Rush's Josh Camacho has more.
Kwamir debuted as track during his 8th grade year. The sport has grown on him, and in turn, he has grown to be a key sprinter for Glenwood.
Mr. Wood asked me to go out to track season my 8th grade year because he thought I was fast. I didn't really like running, and then I just kind of eventually just got into it, and I just realized how fast I was and how good I was at track. So I just kept doing it, and now I'm senior, and I'm pretty good.
Well, we've been very fortunate here at Glenwood to have always have a good group of younger runners that support our junior and senior runners. And Kwamir started here, particularly I remember as a sophomore, contributing in several varsity meets on the fresh soft relays. Last year as a junior, we had lost some athletes from state runner-up team, and Kwamir was capable of stepping in and taking the place of those guys and giving us the opportunity to qualify for state meet again.
Kwamir's winter sports and other activities have kept his stamina high for this season, but track practices are still a challenge.
Conditioning day by day, it can be pretty challenging.
From his times early this year, I don't see a significant struggle. I think he's got himself in a position where he's prepared and he's ready to go.
For The Rush, I'm Josh Camacho.
The outdoor track season begins March 28th at 4:15 at Springfield High. Now let's take our first commercial break of the day, but we'll be right back with sports on the rise here at Glenwood and Eric's basketball picks. Stay tuned. Fat Willie's in Chatham is a great family restaurant that supplies a wonderful dining experience. We offer outstanding fried chicken and over-the-top walleye and pizza. With quality products at affordable prices, Fat Willie's is the way to go. Open Monday through Saturday, 12 a.m. to midnight. Call us today at 217-483-6969.
Aaron, you're all set?
Great, thanks.
Mike, thanks for doing that discount double check. You saved us hundreds.
What was that?
The discount double check? It's when we comb through your policies to make sure that you're getting all the discounts you deserve.
No, I get that part, but you guys are doing my move.
The discount double check move?
It's my touchdown dance.
So you're a dancer?
No, I'm a quarterback.
Oh, quarterback.
More.
I'm a robot. Where's your neighbor? Get out of here.
Get to a better state, State Farm.
Call Steve Bedford in Chatham for personal service and discounts that you deserve.
Welcome back to The Rush. The Illinois High School Association was considering lacrosse as an emerging sport. But for Glenwood athletes, that may not be the only sport on the rise. The Rush's own CJ Carmine has more on how these sports could join the IHSA.
For many years, Glenwood athletes have excelled in sports such as football, baseball, and basketball. But Glenwood has always been open-minded to new sports.
You know, there are sports that come up that kids bring to me. Usually I'll listen to them and I'll talk to them and I'll say, hey, yeah, go out and find me some interest in that. And if it comes back and continually knocks on my door, well, then I'll go out and start investigating it. But a lot of times those ideas come across my desk and then they just kind of die there.
Lacrosse is not one of these dying interests. According to experts, lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in the United States. Dylan Ambrose, a New Yorker from Long Island, is hoping to kickstart lacrosse in the Midwest.
First year I moved here, I played for Bloomington's club team up there, and just from playing up there I knew a bunch of my friends wanted to play, and so I just talked them into it pretty much, and my dad handled a lot of financial stuff, and we got in with Bloomington's league, so now we're part of CI Lax.
Even though Dylan has gotten many athletes interested in this Native American pastime, it may take a while before lacrosse will be recognized by the IHSA. According to the Illinois High School Association, there needs to be around 60 to 70 schools participating before they will begin to consider it as a sanctioned sport.
I think it has to do, for the most part, with, number one, interest. We probably don't have that large scale of interest.
Right now we don't have enough of schools that want to put in programs right now. We just don't have enough interest more in the central Illinois area. Chicago, it's getting big and stuff, but we're about 20 schools short of having it to be a Illinois sport.
I would love to see it IHSA playing teams up, having a state championship, maybe going out into a Memorial Field of U of I, getting some coaches in there, getting some fans out in the stands and getting real refs out there.
But lacrosse isn't the only sport Glenwood athletes participate in. Sports such as hockey and even rugby might be on IHSA's doorstep in a matter of years.
It's been getting better each year. The Glenwood support, playing for Glenwood just means a lot. Some people like in the school, they talk about it and they'll come to games.
We even had some kids that were coming from New Berlin actually coming down to practice with us. That way they could take it back to their teams and let them know that they wanted to start out a rugby team as well up there.
Unfortunately, sports like hockey may have some limitations.
Well, one of the big things is the funding. And we don't have an ice rink here.
I mean, obviously not everybody's all schools are gonna be able to support a hockey team, but I think Glenwood would be fortunate enough to have an all Glenwood hockey team.
Luckily for the ice rink enthusiasts, Glenwood athletes can compete at a club level under the Titans colors. For The Rush, I'm CJ Carmine.
Capital City Lacrosse starts their season in the spring playing home games at Centennial Park. The Springfield Celts Rugby Club starts in the spring playing at Kennedy Park, and the Titan Hockey Club faces off against the winner of SHG and Decatur JV Monday in the LLHH playoffs. With March Madness right around the corner, let's take a look at Eric's Pigskin Picks.
What up, guys? It's my final edition of my basketball picks before the tournament. My first game, Syracuse at Georgetown. You gotta go Georgetown. They're red hot right now. They haven't lost a game since mid-January, and they're playing better than Syracuse right now. My next game is Indiana at Michigan. Indiana is better at rebounds, 39-35 a game, and they score more points per game with 82. Michigan only scores 75. My next game is LaSalle at SLU. SLU will win. They've won 11 games in a row, and at home, and they've been dominant at 16-2. My upsets, North Carolina over Duke. I think North Carolina will win. They will win because they have more rebounds, and another reason is because of P.J. Harrison. He'll have a big game. He had 25 the last time. His last 6 games, he's averaged 17. And he had a big game the last time, and I think he'll do it again, and that's it.
make sure to log on to www.cbssports.com. The group name is Rush22. The password is lowercase Rush22 to create an account to see if you can bust Burklow's bracket. The winner of the contest receives a $25 gift card to Taco Bell. Now, let's take our final commercial break of the day and we'll be right back for the weekly debate with Dylan Ambrose and Ryan Martin.
Kids, the breakfast is ready. Eat up. Your friend's gonna be here pretty soon.
I'll be there in a second.
Have a great day.
My friend's here, I'm leaving.
Be safe. Come home right after school.
Alright, see ya.
Wow, your dads are really looking out for you.
That's not my dad. That's my family's financial advisor, Mr. Sullivan.
Sullivan Financial, looking out for your investments and your family.
Well, Mr. Raji, we could save you hundreds by doing a discount double check.
Not you too, Raji. You're on my team. You know that's my move.
The discount double check?
No, that's my touchdown dance, man.
Here we go again. Sir, you're not even doing it right. Raji, drop it.
Show me what you got, Raji.
What is this?
Come on now. You said you were a dancer.
Where you going, buddy? Come on back.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Call Steve Bedford in Chatham for personal service and discounts that you deserve.
Welcome back to The Rush, and we welcome in two Capital City Lacrosse members, Ryan Martin and Dylan Ambrose, here for the weekly debate. Guys, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
We'll start with, I know you're a huge Blackhawks fan, Ryan.
That I am.
And keep up their streak. Now, can you inform me what exactly is their record right now, the Chicago Blackhawks?
They're about 20-0-3, roughly. I'm not exactly sure.
Have not lost in regulation.
Correct. No losses in 60 minutes. Keeping that streak alive, hopefully for a long time, maybe the rest of the season.
Yeah, because it's a shortened NHL season to begin with.
There's only 48 games, so people say that it might not be that legitimate of a streak, but I say the streak still lives on.
Now, how long do you think they can keep that up, like a game timetable?
I'm saying I'm giving them roughly like 7 more games, and maybe they'll get a loss, but regardless, it's still an amazing streak that they have.
Dylan, you a hockey fan, or go
not much.
watch? No. Well, you know what? We'll go to something that you are a fan of, obviously coming from the East Coast where lacrosse was really prominent. And what are some teams, college lacrosse season just started up, what are some teams, we'll start with you, Dylan, go down to Ryan. What are some teams to watch for in college lacrosse this season?
I definitely think Princeton and Cornell, they both look really good this season.
I'll say two Ivy League schools you
yeah.
really don't hear about in any other sport.
Yeah, they got a really good group of seniors at Cornell, making their last year really heard, and they've come up in the ranks a lot. So.
Now, Ryan, who do you think to watch out for?
I'm a little biased. I'm a Johnny Hops guy. I like Johns Hopkins. They're an independent school. They kind of affiliate themselves with Ivy League, but they're playing really well. I think they're about the 5 seed now. And obviously Maryland's got the 1 seed in the nation right now. And not a big fan of them, but they're doing good things over there.
No, North Carolina's been known to have a good team as well.
Yep.
Virginia, lacrosse, about as much as I go for. But you guys are both on the football team here at Glenwood. Guys are both on Capital City Lacrosse. Which sport would you rather play? We'll start with you, Ryan. Lacrosse or football? Tough question.
It's a very tough question. I've been playing football my entire life. I just got introduced to lacrosse recently. And I gotta say, I'm loving the sport. I'm going to go pursue it in college, so I gotta have to say my side is with lacrosse.
Now, Dylan, Spouse, a starting linebacker on the defensive side of things for Coach York, but lacrosse, I mean, that was your baby. You've always played lacrosse. So what do you go on this?
I mean, grew up playing both sports, but both were kind of different. And like Ryan, I'm playing lacrosse in college, and
yeah, Lindenwood. Well, you got a shirt, right? Lindenwood St. John.
And yeah, I gotta say lacrosse has always just been a great game. Always had a great time. Not too much nerves, just out there having fun. So lacrosse is definitely a favorite for me too.
And now let's go in with the specifics for Capital City Lacrosse this season. Games are really right around the corner at Centennial Park, but you guys travel a lot of places too. So what do you think is a quick preview? Start for you, Ryan, and Dylan will give his input.
I think our team's looking really well. We got a lot more numbers than we usually do. Last year I think we only had about 14 kids, and this year we're up to in the mid to high 20s. And we also got a little kids, a U13 team, I think. Okay. And so we got a good foundation for our program, and I feel like we're going to do some good things this year.
Okay, now Dylan, how are you feeling for the season?
I'm feeling good. We actually expanded our league. We have 2 new teams, Southwest and Pure Notre Dame. They're both up in Chicago. Our first game is the 23rd. It's in Bloomington. We have 2 games. We expanded our program. We're actually probably going to have 2 youth teams this year. And honestly, our team's just a bunch of big physical.
I'll say a lot of football players.
We have a lot of football guys out there, and it's just a bunch of athletic guys out there looking to have a good time. I really think we'll do good this year.
All right, guys, thanks for coming on the debate.
Thanks for having us.
And that's it for this episode of The Rush. Make sure to head down to Mount Zion tonight for the sectional title game against Centennial. That tips off at 7:30. We'll see you there.